Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Battle for Azeroth video. Today I have something pretty special for you guys. I know I've been doing a lot of these videos talking about the allied races, but now that I've introed you to pretty much all of them on my channel throughout those different videos that I made, I actually race changed my alliance mage to a void elf, and I think it looks great. Like, the model looks great. I know it's very similar to a blood elf, but like having that, that bluish purple tint in the actual season 3 cruel gear with that Alunith, like it just looks really cool to me, in my opinion. I'm pretty proud of it. But I've been messing around with the Void Elf racial Spatial Rift ability that's brand new in Battle for Azeroth and even Legion now. It's something that's really, really cool, and I think that there's a lot of different ways to use this ability. If you guys aren't familiar with how this works, basically it's a teleport that you can shoot through the air and then reappear at this position. It has a 3-minute cooldown. It's a 30. It basically goes in front of you for 30 yards, and you can actually teleport to this by activating this ability again. It's a really, really cool ability. Before I get into the tricks, I do want to let you guys know of a cool small thing. I use weak auras for this, and I actually have the Spatial Rift ability buff enabled on my weak aura, so it tells me on my screen exactly how much time I have left for my Spatial Rift, because when you use it, you have a small window until the Spatial Rift is no longer available to use that teleport, right? So what you're going to do, real quick, just going to show you how Spatial Rift works. I mean, you can do all sorts of things like teleport through pillars and out of line of sight. You can be really far away, and you have to use that in a very short amount of time before you can no longer use that Spatial Rift. So I have a couple examples for you guys, and we're just going to jump into pretty much all of them and show you some stuff that I've discovered while playing Arena of how Spatial Rift works. So I actually am very used to this type of mechanic with Spatial Rift because I play an Arcane Mage, and displacement is very similar, but the amount of mobility that you can actually get out of having Spatial Rift and also Arcane Mage, for everyone that plays that, I'm just going to talk about that, but mainly focus on Spatial Rift, is that you're going to have to do a couple different things, right? So I'm fighting two different players in a skirmish. I actually blink out to get my displacement buff ready to go, and then I hit a slow on them. I hit Arcane Orb to generate some charges. I displace back, and then I know that this Death Knight is probably going to run at me or Death Grip me away. So he Death Grip me and then War Stomp me, but I have used my Spatial Rift ability, and I've basically pointed it in a direction that puts me very far away from this Elemental Shaman. And this is going to be a defensive Spatial Rift. This is how I'm going to be using this ability. And as you can see, I have Spatial Rift going. It's currently traveling across the floor while I'm stunned. You can't see it because it's behind me. And I'm going to be using it defensively to get away from this Elemental Shaman and also get away from this Death Knight. When I use Spatial Rift, right, I actually blink forward to line of sight the Elemental Shaman and have the Death Knight actually run away from me where I'm going to be Spatial Rifting, as you can see right there. And you can see right under that nameplate where the Spatial Rift is. And then I use that Spatial Rift ability and go literally like 80 yards. I completely juke this guy out. He uses his Wraith Walk, which is his only gap closer to reach me, and he uses it the wrong way. It's almost like he's running in the wrong direction away from me as he's trying to kill me. So that's, in my opinion, the best way to use it, and probably the most frequent way to use it, is using that like defensive Spatial Rift type of play. Where you're actually just kind of looking to survive with the ability as opposed to just using it by going in. I don't think using it to go in is always useful. As a mage player, maybe as a melee player, it's better to use it to like catch up with someone. You could Spatial Rift towards them, and that might be great, but it's a little bit different when you're playing a caster and your job is to survive. And now I'm going to show you a game in Blade's Edge Arena, and this is actually where you're going to get the most value out of having Spatial Rift. There's a lot of really cool things you can do on Blade's Edge Arena with the bridge on top, and I'm actually doing a 1 versus 2 in this skirmish. It's really, really cool how this all works out. I'm going to be fighting a Marksman Hunter and a Warrior. So this is by myself. There's no other player helping me or anything. And then, as you can see, the Hunter and the Warrior both run up. They're both trying to kill me. I'm generating my Arcane charges, put Temporal Shield immediately up since he is using True Shot. And then I use my Spatial Rift. As you can see, I use Frost Nova as well. There's a Storm Bolt about to hit me, and Spatial Rift is currently traveling across, and I'm going to jump off the bridge. And you're going to see this happen so much in like high-rated PvP. The Marksman jumps off, and I use Spatial Rift and completely juke him out. He cannot hit me. His True Shot's up, and that person is pissed that they cannot kill me right now. I completely juked him out, and I'm going to be killing this Warrior, use greater invisibility, and end up casting a Polymorph on the Hunter. He uses his Trinket and gets a nice interrupt off on me, and I jump again. Since I'm an Arcane Mage, I have displacement, and I end up juking both of them. They're both really mad at this point. They're probably throwing their keyboards as we speak. And I'm pretty much just trying to kill this warrior, but stay, like stay alive, and that's really difficult because this hunter can do so much damage to me. But I end up casting a polymorph and getting the feigned death. There is DR coming off. I get a nice root onto this hunter. I block the second Stormbolt, and then I come out of block, shimmer away, cast a polymorph. I know you can't see it, but the hunter actually just emoted me and danced with me. So I sheeped him full. He can't get out of it because he doesn't have PvP trinket. I end up killing this warrior while he's blade storming, and now it's a 1 versus 1 situation. And since Spatial Rift gave me like that extra time to survive, the only reason I am able to survive this 1v2 is because I had Spatial Rift and juked out that hunter during True Shot. So now I do some fancy Arcane Mage plays. As you can see, displacement is up there. The hunter jumps off. I displace up, start eating, trying to get my health back and survive. I actually juke out this, or I actually get a full Frost Nova and Temporal Shield out right there. Temporal Shield wasn't super necessary. I just didn't know if he was going to get that Wind Burst off, and I'm really low health. So I get that full Frost Nova. I start eating, trying to get that health back. He does end up disengaging to me. I cast Polymorph, juke the counter shot, interrupt, and then cast full Polymorph, go upstairs, and start eating once again. So the name of this game really is just trying to survive. I know that this isn't super focused on Spatial Rift because it's on cooldown, but Spatial Rift for me as an Arcane Mage is like a second displacement in this situation. So pretty much every time I use displacement to go onto that top air, or that top edge, Blaze Edge arena, or the top of the bridge, pretty much just like use that and learn from that. You can do that with Spatial Rift as well. I don't have Spatial Rift up right now, so I'm using displacement instead. So as you can see, he jumps down. He's confused. He thinks he's going to displacement back up, but in fact, I just don't. I just eat. A lot of players, when they think you're going to displace up, you just don't displace up, or you don't Spatial Rift up. And then you just do whatever you're going to do to survive, right? So I actually get a full health bar here. I have all my offensive cooldowns up. This hunter's really pissed off because he knows he can't catch up to me. There's really no way. And I end up just going for a sheep. And then I juke the counter shot again, get a sheep. He jumps off. And then I'm going to just go for the catch and try to go offensive here. I get that nice greater invisibility. He's trying to flare me out. He puts a flare on the bridge, and I do not go into it. I go up the other ramp. I end up going for this full polymorph here and trying to get his PvP trinket. And he actually doesn't use his trinket. I get a slow for 15% extra damage, Mark of a Luneth. I have 4 arcane charges, and as you can see, I have arcane power up, 3 arcane blasts, and end up killing him. I save my PvP trinket for the binding shot. I trinket the binding shot, get a full missiles off into a barrage and orb combo, thus finishing off the 1v2. And thank you to Spatial Rift and Displacement for making that an epic 1v2, honestly. So this just shows you the power of what that ability can do. Even though it does have a 3-minute cooldown, like every class that has Spatial Rift, or is a Void Elf in general, can do that trick. And that's really cool because only Arcane Mages could do that trick, or Monks could do that trick, or Warlocks could do that trick. But now anyone that's a Void Elf can do that as well. And I think that's really cool and offers a lot of really great skill cap and opportunity for players that are interested in being the best with that ability. All right, and last but not least, I'm actually going to show you a game where I use Spatial Rift offensively. Basically, this Warlock is in a lot of trouble, has no more defensives left, and we're just in the middle of this game. I'm about to finish him off, but the thing is that this guy is going to go into the room right ahead. He's going to use his Demonic Teleport or Demonic Circle Teleport, whatever it is, and Hellstone. And I have Spatial Rift, and I'm going to be using this offensively here. And this is just a small trick in case, you do have this opportunity to do this. Where basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Spatial Rift over on the right side, and then I'm going to run to the left door. So that makes it so that there's nowhere he can go. There's nowhere he can get away from me. I'm going to run to the left. If he goes right, I'm going to use Spatial Rift. If he goes left, I'm going to be just running straight at him. And there's no way that this guy can get away from me. And I think that this is just a cool way to show how you can actually do it. So as you can see, I actually use my Spatial Rift in the right door. I basically shot it through the right door, and then I blinked to the left door. He's to the left. He's choosing to just stay right at me. And then I actually do finish him off and Spatial Rift into the room to be out of the Death Knight's line of sight as well, just in case. And that's just a nice little trick to use offensive Spatial Rift wise. I recommend using it defensively more than offensively, but if you are in a situation where you can get a kill and you are able to definitely finish somebody off, and Spatial Rift helps you do that, if they're pillar kiting or whatever, that's how you do it. And I think that that's a pretty cool way. So I actually have a couple more games for you guys to just watch without commentary, but I do want you guys to get a little bit of a feel for it, and then I'll see you at the end of the video. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I very, very much appreciate it. Let me know what your thoughts are on these Void Elf, like cool tips and tricks on how you can use Spatial Rift in PvP. I definitely think that this is a really cool ability and something that I will be using, and I'm really happy to have a Void Elf Arcane Mage. There's a lot of opportunity with that class as a Void Elf. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Be sure to leave a big thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for Battle for Azeroth content. There's a lot of stuff coming. We already did a lot of the Allied Races stuff, and I'm really excited to get into the alpha whenever it's available. So thanks, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.